You know, one of the things that I enjoy most about working in television and radio in my career is meeting fascinating and interesting people. I'm Jim Masters, CU TV News. We're here in Rocky River, Ohio, just outside downtown Cleveland, to meet somebody who's renowned in the field of psychiatry and who also is an accomplished author of some 9 books. Matter of fact, she's working on her 10th book now. Her name is Dr. Joanne Denko. She has been in the field of psychiatry for many, many years, and she's inspired and impacted so many lives. And she's done that now through her books as an author. We've come here to her home to meet her, to interview her, but also to give her the opportunity to share these rich stories about why she loves doing what she does so much. How would you say that psychiatry has evolved and changed over the years?
Oh, it has changed drastically. When I was in training, the very first of the tranquilizers came out. I don't remember what the first one was called, and then soon we had Thorazine, and that was a major psychiatric breakthrough. In those times, we were treating patients mainly by talking to them and relating everything to their life, their upbringing, their relationships with their families. This is largely not done now because, for one thing, it's a very costly method because it's so time-consuming. And now my son, who is a psychiatrist in Pittsburgh, in the medical school there, is doing pretty much the opposite of what I did at the start, at least. In all the years in between, the products, the antipsychotic products, the antidepressant products came out, and he is now teaching the young psychiatrists coming in training, coming into practice, a method of studying what is unique to the patient, the condition that the patient has, but also his body, his other problems, heart problems or whatever, and the various possible medications and which ones have the most likely to have positive benefits for such a person and the fewest negative results. He has had students who come out to him and say, "Why hasn't anybody else ever told us this?" And I don't know why they haven't either. It seems like a very simple and obvious method, but I never had it presented to me this way. And this is, I'm trying to get him to write this up for publication too. He does articles, as I have done. It seems like a very difficult world to live in now also. My son also has made the point that comparing that he is now paid by the hour as much as I was paid 40 years ago, which means that he is paid much less in buying power than he was in the past. Things have become, standardized. And he has the experience, this is in Pittsburgh, that patients that they have maybe known at the hospital before come in, they're all out of control, and he patiently works and decides which medications to remove and which to put them on and gets them in balance again and sends them out. And then pretty soon they're back in the same problem again, taking the same 4 medications that fight against each other. And somehow those 4 became popular in the Pittsburgh area, and patients are coming in with the same ones that are not right together, and over and over. And when they go back to the practitioner on one that's working, on a set that's working, which he organized in the hospital, then they change them back to it. Very, very strange.
When you do look back at your life, Doctor, which again is something that is, you can really go deep, and it's tough to sort of summarize that all up. What do you think are some of the greatest impacts that you've made?
As I said, I find that the things that will last most, I figure are always have got to be written down. And I'm I feel most accomplishful about the books because the patients that I have helped, and I have run into them or run into their relatives on the street later, and they've expressed appreciation for what I had done for them or their mother or whoever the case might be. That has its own progressive effect in that these people can be of greater value because of what I've done. But what can anybody can learn about, they can only learn about at this point from what I've written down. And that's why I'm one of the reasons why I've written the things and hope that they will have that effect.
Are you always still writing things down for future books?
Oh, I don't think I'll write any more books. It's too long and involved. I don't at the moment have any idea for any any unitary thing to write of a shorter nature. And at the moment, I am bending all my efforts to finishing this family biography book, which I knew it was going to be complicated and involved, and it is.
Yeah, much more than just all the research.
Well, it has too many. It has a lot of people in it of necessity because of the nature of what I took on.
If somebody's considering going into the field of psychiatry today, I mean, the world has changed. What would you say to them if they're watching this and they want to enter that field?
For one thing, I have for years been advising people to avoid medicine. It is difficult. It is difficult, and it's frustrating these days what they have to go through. And with our children, for example, we advise the same thing unless they would go into academic medicine, which they did, both of them. But to be in practice out there coping with everything you have to cope with in the regulations, in the insurance, and problems like that. It's not like being a physician when I became one.
The book that you're writing on the Denko family, of course, it's really sort of like a legacy in a way for your family members and generations to come, the grandchildren, great-grandchildren, right?
There is that, but at the same time, if I would like, if I had a chance, I'd like to put it into a time capsule. And I don't know of any way to do this. I think, and I've been trying as I go along, to point out how the story that is being told relates to the circumstances at the time that that it was happening, and how, because they will be seen as very different from what the readers have, because the readers can only be from now on. And so I try to draw these things to their attention. Among other things, sometimes changes in price. One of my sons always talks about when he was a kid, ice cream cones were 25 cents. And of course, when I was a child, they were 5 cents. Some of the things that I've wanted for my children and for my grandchildren, I've been trying to accomplish for them. Namely, some getting away from these megalopolises, these big cities. I have a small summer place up on Beaver Island in the northern end of Lake Michigan. It is like a world apart to go to that. And that is up there for them and for their grandchildren in trust. for subsequent generations in trust, as a way for them to come together if they get there at the same time, which is often very difficult, but a way to see the countryside the way it was when I was growing up, which was partly why I picked that place. When a friend of mine was beginning to had built a cottage up there, and then I built a summer place up there too. I like to think that it's hard to get to Beaver Island because I don't want a lot of people getting there. It's 2.5 hours by ferry, or about 20 minutes by little airplane. But it's a place apart, and I guess people have to find their own way that way.
Dr. Joanne Denko, a psychiatrist and author, somebody who sees things with a unique perspective. What I noticed in this interview is how she loves to thread things together in life, whether it's people, nature, her experiences, her stories, and she shares it with all of us through her wonderful writings, but also through her many, many years as a psychiatrist. Truly a fascinating woman. If you'd like to learn more, you can go to her website. In Rocky River, Ohio, just outside Cleveland, I'm Jim Masters, CUTV News.